Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video, and today we are here for something a little bit different. Now, a lot of the time I sort of feel Codemasters do sort of generally get a fair bit of hate towards them in terms of the F1 game. So today, I thought I'd sort of look at a few of the positives from the F1 2017 game. Now, I'm not going to try and argue that this game is perfect. I think we can all safely agree there are quite a few flaws with it, unfortunately. Obviously, I'll sort of make that into a different video, but there will be a few of those points discussed in this one. But overall, I do feel, looking at it, F1 2017 is actually one of probably Codemasters' stronger from the franchise. So today, I thought I'd bring you 5 reasons as to why I do think F1 2017, the sort of 5 things that I feel are very, very good in the game. Now, number 1 then, we'll jump into that straight away, and I think this is probably one of the most obvious ones to most people, and that is the career mode. F1 Codemasters, that obviously they know, I'd say career mode, is a very, very big aspect of the game for a lot of people. There's a reason people like Ben and Arav have, Ben has nearly 300,000 subscribers, Arav's got nearly 200,000, and then probably the biggest league racing YouTuber, obviously excluding Ben's SRL and AOR highlights here and there. The biggest sort of fully dedicated league racing YouTuber is probably TRL Limitless at 30k, and don't get me wrong, all those numbers are, massive in terms of the F1 community, but there is so much of a bigger audience for the career mode than there is for the online. And although, obviously, I do want to see online a big improvement to that, I'll sort of, as I said, I'll talk about that in a different video. Hands down, F1 2017 career mode is incredible. When you look at the R&D tree and how sophisticated it is, and everything just about how seamless the career mode does seem to work on this game. Honestly, looking back when I was making this list, I sort of almost regret how little career mode I've done on this game. Mainly because, when you look at people like Arav that are on like Season 6, Season 7, their career modes just look so enjoyable. And obviously I really wish, that I had done a lot more of it, but just other things sort of not got in the way. I think there was just a lack of interest from me personally this time around. I really sort of wanted to focus on my league racing. But yeah, I think the career mode, everything about it. The R&D balance, I feel, on 2016 is very, very good. The development, albeit it could be a bit quicker, I sort of feel that sometimes with lower cars it does take quite a while to get them to any sort of respectable level. It is, I'd say, still better than F1 2016, where you could max a car out in under 2 years. So it is certainly the stronger of the games, and I feel, when you look at it, I feel the only real thing it's missing out on is the interviews, obviously, after the races, and obviously if you did quite well, like got a podium or something, and then generally apart from that, I think potentially the young driver program, it never really did anything for me, but I know a lot of people did really like it in the old F1 game. So that is point 1. The career mode, yeah, as I said, is, well, truly fantastic at this point. Now, next up is something that I imagine will surprise a lot of people, and this is actually to do with the online. Now, as I said, online, on the whole, there are a lot of issues with it. I'm not sort of going to delve into those. There's a lot of other videos about that. And obviously, I don't want to just say the online's terrible and not sort of give any backup points to it or anything. You've got to be constructive when you're giving feedback to it. The XP system from sprint lobbies. Now, I must say, as frustrating it is that you don't get any when you DNF, it is very, very good fun. And honestly, I wouldn't be doing F1 Open lobbies. Well, I'd be doing F1 Open lobbies, but I wouldn't be doing like Road to Rank. Obviously, I couldn't do Road to Rank 50 if the XP system wasn't in place. And the XP system on this game, it's the first I think we've seen since 2012, 2013, and it does work really, really well in my personal opinion. There is a reason why I do Road to Rank 50. At least sort of once a week I try to average it out. Sometimes, I do it 3-4 times, other times I do unfortunately miss out on a couple of weeks. But yeah, the online XP system I feel is really, really good, really, really rewarding. I can't imagine F1 Online would be at all used really by most people apart from league racing if there wasn't an XP system to it. Whether it needs a bit of rebalancing for F1 2018, I don't really feel is necessary. It seems on the whole that it is pretty overall well completed. It sort of feels that it is very, very sort of well-rounded at the moment, and I feel that the balance for it, there are a lot of people I know that do a lot more F1 Online than I do, and obviously there are people that are just sort of getting to maxing out the gold rank 50. I think there's 4 rank 50s, isn't there, on the game, so effectively 200 ranks, and I think top people are sort of getting very, very close to that rank 200 by this point. So there is still definitely, a lot of potential with that, but I feel the F1 Online XP system has certainly, rejuvenated a bit of life into the online system on this game, and albeit, it's very, very poor at the moment, I feel that that is one thing that sort of almost sweetens the deal just a little bit. On to number 3 then, and this is sort of online, sort of not, and that is the community events. Now, personally, obviously I haven't really done too many of these. I've sort of mainly do the classic ones because I enjoy them a lot more. But overall, the community events, we saw them, I think, on the PS4 last game, but now they've brought them to all 3 consoles, and they are really, really enjoyable. You know, there has been a few where I just thought, yeah, I'll just give that a go, you know, put an hour of practice in, get sort of like top 5, occasionally the world record, as I have been able to a few times, and they are just good fun. Now, I feel, you know, there could be a little bit more emphasis on them if there was a few more competitions with them, even if it was only little things like Cody's merch or whatever, just little things like that. It would be quite nice to see, you know, some more rewards come from them as well. Perhaps even it could just be, you know, XP for online, for example, or something like that, you know, for people that are worried about that. Or maybe, you know, extra unlockables in the game, sort of like R&D points, for example, or helmets or whatever like that. Or that sort of thing, you know. There's still, you know, an area that they can still improve with it. But I do feel that the online sort of, the challenge mode is, albeit a little bit, it's a little bit intriguing. And I feel that it doesn't really get sort of the, you know, use that I feel it deserves. I can sort of also tie that in as well, thinking of it actually, about the F1 Championships mode, I think it's called, or like the events mode, or I can't remember exactly the name of it off the top of my head. But that also is once again a very underrated feature in the game. I feel, you know, I'd really like to sort of look into that a bit more than I really have done. So yeah, obviously I think, you know, necessarily, you know, they could try and have a bit more emphasis on that during the next game, but still, you know, 2 features for the hardcore F1 players, you know, that play a lot more than I do, and they certainly can try and focus and look into those sort of things here and there a bit more often in the game. Now, point 4, we move on to probably, I think, one thing that a lot of people would expect from myself, and that is the classic cars. These ones, you know, F1 2013s were quite good fun, but the 2017 ones are just taken to an all-new level. They are so much fun. Obviously, you know, I've spoke about them way too much in the past, and I'll probably continue to speak about them way too much in the future as well, but personally, you know, they are an absolute godsend on this game. I'm really hoping, you know, that AOR does something a bit more with them, you know, not necessarily for Season 15, but I'd like to see, you know, I might even try and push forward another championship with them like we saw at Christmas. You know, they are so much fun to drive, you know, so much fun, you know, they're just so varied and so fantastic, in my personal opinion, you know, and obviously, as you'll have seen on the channel, I do drive them a fair bit, I think it's safe to agree. So that, you know, is something that really, you know, it was sort of one of those things from Codemasters that I don't think too many people really expected. And unfortunately, I feel it's, you know, once again, a little bit underrated in the game, but I personally still feel it is very good. And now, we move on to number 5. And this one's sort of, once again, a bit like the Online XP. I feel is something that I'll sort of have to explain myself a little bit more in terms of my personal opinions about it. And that is the F1 eSports. Now, obviously, we had the issues with the F1 eSports. Obviously, we have things like desynced cars, game crashes, and things like that, you know, that really shouldn't be happening on LAN. And obviously, I think that's just another point to prove that Codemasters really do need to focus on the online. But just the fact, you know, that they've really started to invest in the esports, and genuinely, I feel that they've almost sort of reshaped the motorsport esport community. I mean, you know, sort of how much money was pumped into it. You know, there are a lot of other games that sort of really have taken F1 seriously. You know, you've seen Brendan Lee attending the E-Race of Champions and things, and it does just go to prove, you know, that the F1 esports, albeit Codemasters aren't a big franchise in the grand scheme of things with the F1 series, it did really, you know, it made a lot of people notice. And when you look, you know, especially at the PC split of AOR Tier 1 now, it is ridiculously competitive now. You know, it's absolutely crazy. I was having a look at the point standings. I think, you know, FizzyFan, who's year upon year been sort of very much a top tier competitor, you know, I think he's now second to last in the Split 1 Championship, which obviously isn't ideal for him, but just goes to show, you know, how big of an effect it has had on, you know, sort of the esports scene and obviously everything about it. You know, it's brought a lot of fans into F1. It's made a lot more F1 fans, you know, sort of take the racing a lot more seriously and things. And I do feel, you know, there is still, you know, it can only get, well, hopefully it can only get better from here on the whole. But there we are then. That has been 5 things that I feel F1 2017 has done right. Maybe, you know, we could see these things come back for F1 2018 as well. But yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Do not forget to like, subscribe if you're new around here as well. Obviously, there is a lot more content coming to the channel. You know, I sort of wanted to make a bit of a positive video today as well, as also it is actually my birthday, a little fun fact for you as well. So if you made it this far into the video, thank you very much. That's a little factoid for you, as a lot of you will probably be able to guess that is because of the 212 in my name. Yeah, hopefully, you know, you guys have enjoyed this, as I said. If you've got anything, you know, that you've really liked from F1 2017, you felt was a little bit underrated, that I forgot to mention in that video, do not forget to leave it down in the comments as well. You know, I try to respond to all the comments that I possibly can. But that has been me. for this video, and hopefully I will see you guys next time for a brand new video.